It's good to have you.
Good to be here.
Now, I remember some background. When you guys came into the system, it was new. There was a lot of resistance. Stakeholders, civil society, politicians, some people said that this was not going to work. You've done it for 1 year. So we had to talk about how it's been so far, right?
That's right.
Tell us who is Ghana Links and what exactly you've been up to as Ghana Links.
Thank you very much once again. Ghana Link Network Services Limited is a wholly owned Ghanaian limited liability company.
Mm-hmm.
We're registered on the 5th of June 2001.
Okay.
We are into IT solutions development,
Mm-hmm.
mainly focusing on trade facilitation.
Mm-hmm.
In 2003, we were one of 5 companies which were providing destination inspection services for the government through the GRA.
Mm-hmm.
Bernard, it will interest you to know that we were the only indigenous company in that terrain.
Mm-hmm.
In 2015, our contract ended with the government, and then we had to provide external verification services for the GRA again with our technical partners from Japan, OMIC of Japan, from 2015, somewhere September to 2018. In 2018, we had an agreement with the government to provide an end-to-end trade facilitation and customs management system, popularly known as UNIPAS.
Mm-hmm.
We are doing this together with our technical partners from Korea this time around. That is the Korea Customs Services, but we are doing it with an agency, which is the Customs UNIPAS International Agency. Bernard, they have developed this UNIPAS system, which they are using in Korea and other countries across the world. So, in summary, this is Ghana Link, and this is where we are. We have rolled out the UNIPAS or the Icums system from March of last year. We started from the frontiers, Elubo, Aplao, Kulungugu, Hamile. That was from 1st of March. Then 1st of April, we rolled out the system at the Takrady port. Bernard, you know the Takrady port is a relatively smaller port, so in order for us to be able to be successful in Tema, we needed to have everything sorted out with Takrady. We did that. Towards the end of April, we deployed the system at the airport, and it went very smoothly at the airport. Then in May, we deployed the system for the management of the downstream petroleum sector. On the 1st of June, we rolled out in Tema and the Accra collection, and thus far, this is where we are.
How satisfied are you with the new system?
Bernard, we are largely satisfied with what we have achieved over this relatively short period of time. Within this 1 year period, we've made very good strides. The promise that the system pertained, that for which reason the government was comfortable enough to sign an agreement with us, is delivering. Objectives, firstly, to provide a single solution, a single system that will provide an end-to-end solution to our trade management processes. Secondly, we were having a bit of a challenge with revenue mobilization because of the multiplicity of systems we were having to use previously. And then thirdly, we needed to be able to facilitate trade. Bernard, as I speak to you, I mean, previously, we were clearing goods from the port, sometimes 4 days, 5 days a week. Currently, because of how integrated and robust the system is, we are clearing goods from the port within a matter of a day, sometimes even hours. So, and then when it comes to revenue generation, the system is doing very well in that regard. We are very happy with what we have achieved within this period.
Okay, so everything sounds very rosy, but we know there was some pushback from some stakeholders, especially freight forwarders at the time. Did you feel that their complaints were justified, and how have you been able to navigate that?
Indeed, we had a lot of challenge with our stakeholders, like you mentioned, the freight forwarders. It was not only the freight forwarders. We had civil society organizations, we had politicians. I mean, change is not an easy thing for anyone. So people had been accustomed to a way of doing things for so many years. The promise that the system was making, people could not probably associate themselves with it or believe in its ability. Secondly, people did not believe that this is viable, and therefore were not too keen on joining us for our various training programs. Even those who attended, sometimes we had a bit of a challenge. So by the time we rolled out eventually in Tema, the knowledge gap was a bit of a challenge. Bernard, the system, like I mentioned, is an end-to-end system. It has all the relevant stakeholders connected, and whatever role one plays is available for the other to see and continue. So there was the need for all stakeholders to have been adequately trained and all that. We had a bit of a challenge in that regard, but with the support of the stakeholders, eventually we have had very, very extensive training programs for all stakeholders, and all stakeholders will attest that the system is working very smoothly. It has enabled us to create what you could call a port community system, such that every role that are being played with regards to the supply chain, is available to all others to see. And Bernard, that I speak to you, we are having the true paperless port system currently, where you are in the comfort of your home, in your office, in your car. You're able to make applications on the system. You receive feedback. You make payments on the system, because all 23 commercial banks are connected to the system. And whichever bank you use, whatever payment options they have, you are able to deploy that option, even including a Momo option to pay your duties and taxes. And the only time you would physically have to go to the port is when the cargo has arrived and you need customs to do what they call a physical inspection and then deliver the cargo to you. So there's a true paperless port system in operation, since the inception of Icums, and we are very happy.
Okay. All right. So people are happy now. Your stakeholders are on board. Have they all been trained as you require them to be?
Yes, we've had extensive training programs for all stakeholders, but training is a continuous thing. Just last week, we've completed training for freight forwarders at the airport. As I speak to you, there are training programs ongoing in Wa, in Bolgatanga, and various parts of the country. We have deployed the system to about 93% of customs operational sites. That is about 135 sites across the country. We're hoping to complete the remainder by the next 2 or 3 months. And this has enabled a very smooth process to ensue, such that, Bernard, you are able to stay in Elubo and do declarations for your goods in Tema. You are able to stay in Takrady and do declarations for your goods everywhere. Even if you are outside of the country. And officers and other stakeholders are receiving continuous training. We also have made available videos of our processes and the manuals on our website, external.unipassghana.com. You go there and you are able to see how the processes work on Icums.
Okay, we're talking to the Director of Operations for Ghana Links, Raymond Amaglo, and we're discussing 1 year of Icums in Ghana. Let's talk about revenue. One of the main reasons why this change was made. So what do you have to show in terms of revenue increase since you came on board?
Bernard, when it comes to the revenue bit, our preference is that the GRA, who are the system owners, are the ones who are talking to the figures on the revenue. But I could say that over the weekend, the Commissioner General granted an interview where he mentioned that previously they were raising between 800 to 900 million cedis on a monthly basis. But since the inception of Icums, we are raising between 1.3 to 1.4 billion cedis. So there's been quite a significant jump in the revenue. This is because the system is quite robust, and a lot of the discretionary powers that officers had to exercise have been ceded to the system, such that if you have not performed a certain function or a certain requirement, the system blocks you from being able to proceed to the next stage. So it's helped in this regard, and we are quite happy.
Okay, talk to us about the new direct cargo delivery feature that was introduced on the Icums platform. How can an importer or agent make use of the new platform?
Bernard,
the new feature.
Yeah, the direct delivery feature is a new feature we have introduced, like you mentioned. It enables the delivery of cargo directly from the vessel to let's say the importer. This becomes necessary where the good is, say, of a dangerous nature, let's say chemicals or radioactive materials, or the good is in such a form that it cannot be adequately stored at the port. For example, let's say it is a bulk cargo like clinker. So in order for a declarant to take advantage of the feature, he would have to have used the declaration pre-manifest declaration option, where even before the arrival of the vessel, once he has his documents, that is the invoice, parking list, bill of lading, any other document, he makes his applications to customs. Customs will do an assessment normally within a matter of a day, and then he receives the report on his front end. The declarant would accept or reject the report. Once the declarant accepts, the declarant will make payment and then wait for the arrival of the cargo. Once the cargo arrives, the shipping line will submit the manifest, then the declarant would make a direct delivery request online. Customs makes the approval, and then voila, the declarant is able to take the cargo directly from the ship out of the port area.
Okay. All right, let's talk about how Icums is helping exporters through the AFCFTA program, the African Continental Free Trade Area. So we know that applications to export under AFCFTA via Icums began in January. You've got Casapreco and Gando Cosmetics who have exported under AFCFTA. Do we have other companies using this? And going forward, what measures or strategies is Ghana Link putting in place to ensure that exports and imports under AFCFTA through Icums is seamless and problem-free?
Thank you. I'm glad to mention that on the 1st of January, when AFCFTA went live across Africa, Ghana was one of the first countries in Africa to be ready, because the system had been provisioned to enable exporters and importers who want to take advantage of it to make their applications. There are three main agencies who are involved in managing this process. The Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, who are the designated competent authority. There is the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and then there's the Ministry of Trade and Industry. So exporters are supposed to register their businesses and their products, and then inspections are done by these agencies, and then they are able to, do their exports through the AFTAC. For the imports, a CPC code has been created, that is a custom procedure code that enables them to take advantage of AFTAC. We are aware that the Ministry of Trade have teams visiting various manufacturing companies who are into exports to handhold them and help them in this process. I did a quick check on the system before our interview today, and the system indicates that 17 companies have made applications. Apart from the ones you mentioned, Nestle Ghana, B5 Plus, Olam, Qualiplast, NutriFoods are a few more companies that have made applications on the AFTA.
Let's end by dealing with two quick issues. This is two phases, right?
Yes.
So we have done phase one. Where are we? Are we finished with phase one, and when is phase two starting?
Yes, Bernard, we are done with phase one, but of course we still are having continuous engagement with the stakeholders, so that where there is a need to make one change or the other, one addition or the other, we are doing that. We've vigorously started work on the phase two. We are hoping to start the deployment towards the end of this month up to the end of the year. I would mention just a few. We have one which is the e-wallet. The e-wallet is this option that allows a declarant who has overpaid his duties and taxes to customs to select the overpaid amount in his subsequent transaction with customs as a payment option. That is for the e-wallet. There is the e-auction. Currently, the auction processes at the port is largely manual. So we are automating this process to ensure that once the UCL, that is on clear cargo list, is examined by officers, then there is a classification and examination that is done. There is a gazetting, and then the list is made available. People across the country are able to, on our platform, bid when the auction is due. Whoever wins, the system generates a bill, the person makes the payment, and the person takes delivery of the cargo. So it will bring a lot of transparency and efficiency in our auction processes.
All right. Thank you very much, Raymond Amaglo. Great job. Great job. Thank you very much, Raymond. Good job with Icums. We'll talk again soon. And this is a a conversation that is not going to end today. But don't forget that this technology was introduced last year, and it's been a year since inception, doing some wonderful things. Raymond is the Director of Operations for Ghana Links, who are the people who signed the agreement with the government of Ghana to implement the new system called Integrated Customs Management Systems, aka Icums. Stay with us, we'll be right